Another natural disaster has come and gone on the west coast, and we can count ourselves lucky. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake centered just off Haida, Gwaii on Saturday night caused minor damage only, and there was no tsunami. But in the minutes after the quake, coastal communities feared far worse. And in Tofino, the mayor says city officials couldn't get any information from the province for a full 45 minutes, and they were left to make their own decisions. An island emergency management consultant says that simply isn't good enough when seconds count. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
A Haida dance ceremony at a wedding in Masset is cut short. The building is shaking. People start to evacuate. Then the lights go out. They are only a few hundred kilometres from the epicenter of the second largest earthquake BC has ever seen.
This is our community hall, and I've never heard such crazy noises, and ladies were crying and people were grabbing pies off the tables, and that's when you know it's all over.
The shaking triggered evacuations in several communities, but thankfully damage was minor, and a tsunami warning in the area was later cancelled.
The warning is still in effect for roughly north tip of Vancouver Island.
On Vancouver Island's west coast, hundreds of tourists and locals head for higher ground and gather in Tofino's community hall after city officials sound the tsunami warning system for the first time since it was installed last year.
It was too big of an event and too close to us to not have done anything in our comfort level. And in hindsight, I do believe it was the right thing to do.
But in the immediate aftermath of the major earthquake to the north, they had to make that decision alone.
We did not have any communication from PEP or Emergency BC for a time period of about 45 minutes.
Emergency Management BC officials say they communicated with towns at highest tsunami risk first.
As you can imagine, after hours, you have only so many staff in, and you do have staff coming in to assist you, but you have a priority decision-making process to go through and who you contact first.
That's not good enough for this Esquimalt councillor and veteran emergency management consultant.
What that says to me is the province doesn't have enough resources, which is absurd. I mean, the province has thousands of employees. A lot of their employees are trained communications professionals. So they can't work after 5 o'clock. They can't work on the weekends.
Emergency Management BC is also being criticized for not alerting the public about the earthquake and tsunami risk for almost an hour. The first public notification was via Twitter, 51 minutes after the quake, well after media began reporting it. The first official word to media came at 9:05, a full hour later. BC Ferries had boats in the water near the risk zone, but says no one from emergency management contacted them about a possible tsunami until more than an hour had passed. Attorney General Shirley Bond and emergency officials say the system worked well, but there will be a review.
What I'm worried about is at the same time is when a senior government official says everything went really well, but we're going to do a review.
Hodgins says it is common for a communication breakdown to be identified in a review after a potential disaster response. He says he doesn't think the province met its mandate this weekend for keeping the public safe.
Andrew Johnson joins us now live with more. Andrew, why do provincial emergency officials maintain that the system worked well when there was that time lag that you laid out, and communities such as Tofino say they didn't get enough information quickly enough?
Well, Hudson, Emergency Management BC officials say the bigger question we should be asking here is, were people aware of the potential tsunami threat, and did they take appropriate action? They say the answer to that question on Haida, Gwaii and in a place like Tofino is yes. Emergency Management BC's Executive Director of Operations says local officials in Tofino made the decision to activate the tsunami warning system and get people to higher ground. They say that was the right action, and that is a success.
Better to overreact than underreact.
Absolutely, in this case.
But this is the first test of this thing since the tsunami in Japan, and many people are saying it didn't work out very well.
Yet are pointing out local officials certainly noticed what was going on in Haida, Gwaii and places like Tofino and did exactly what they should, and that system in Tofino worked well.
All right. Andrew Johnson, thank you.
You're welcome.